The power of the enemy is growing.
I've been watching anime for decades now. I've watched them big or small, old or new, and I can show off and pretend like my top 10 anime is some rare shit nobody ever saw, or I can use this opportunity to look back and reflect on my experience with the medium. I asked myself a simple question: if I were to die in a month, what kind of anime would I prefer to relive again? One might say I decided to remember the woods. I present to you the list that is the result of this thought process, with a sprinkle of reasoning as to why I consider some specimens to be more than just a time killer. Keep in mind that the order holds no special meaning for this one, except for the first 3 titles. Number 1. Ginga Eiyuu Densetsu. Now I've spent many an hour thinking about this work of art that is Gin Eiden, contemplating the reasons as to why this particular story impressed me so deeply, despite the fact that most Japanese would discard it as just a simple novel. And I think it has to do with just how this story manages to show 2 sides of a coin in a way that strongly resonates with my own experience and observations. It's a story that depicts human nature in the most realistic, non-grotesque, hyperbolized way. The way Tanaka writes these characters is just exemplary. People are not evil for the sake of being evil. Our best intentions sometimes turn into chaotic mess. If you want your will to feel alive with no simple answers, this is what you should reference. No matter how many times I revisit this story, it always hits me in all the right places. Number 2. Gintama. Whenever I explain why I love this anime to some of my Japanese-speaking friends, I drop something along the lines of, this is a show that turns dirty jokes into art. You can transform water into wine all you want. I've never seen someone turn poop into gold-laden Sistine Chapel the way Gintama does it. I mean, if you can watch Gintama and understand every single political, cultural, historical reference, you can consider yourself a PhD in all things Japanese. Number 3. Code Geass. Well, Number 4. Saiki Kusuo no Sainan. Saiki Kusuo is genius. Whenever we do anything in our lives, we project expectations, and in my case, Saiki Kusuo has managed to surpass those time and time again. This show is simply brilliant, a blast to watch alone, with friends, or your wife. I doubt anyone could turn the predominant narrative of today that heroes would have it hard in our society into a comedy better than this one. Number 5. Kino no Tabi. This piece of creative work is a hidden gem known to few that is very hard to find in good quality even on our beloved sharing is caring ideology-driven websites. How can anyone portray society so different in just 20 minutes? I don't know. And yet, Kino's journey manages to do just that. It's a kaleidoscope of utopias, dystopias, and whatever topias out there, and it's too well put together to miss out on. Number 6. Aoi Bungaku, Hashire Melos adaptation. It's a small little book which I even own, but the way they managed to adapt it is nothing but mind-blowing. The metaphorical transition of betrayer and betrayed is to this day one of the deepest messages I managed to see in any medium. Another honorable mention would be Kokoro. Number 7. Yojohan Shinwa Taikei, also known as the Tatami Galaxy. First time I watched this anime was when I was a second-year student at a very small university. The timing was perfect though. This is a story you should watch if you ever begin to waste too much time thinking about the way things could have been. Many years later, I moved to Kyoto and lived there for a good part of my life. And my god, how awesome it was to see all these places depicted in the anime. In Japanese, us otaku boys call it pilgrimage, albeit in my experience, this pilgrimage is usually something done by those love-lifers. I don't know how many times I've walked through the Kamo Ohashi Bridge, or how many times I've seen the Yoshida Dormitory. These places, the scenery, the people, will forever remain in my memory. But what also took a special place in my heart was the music of Oshima Michiru. She's one of the greatest underdogs when it comes to unique soundtracks. Unlike Sawano Hiroyuki, who is also undoubtedly one of the biggest composers out there, Michiru's music has far greater refrain value to it. Another work of the author, Yoru wa Mijikashi Arukei Otome, also takes place in Kyoto, but to me personally, the message it sends is not that big. Number 8. Kimikiss. Call me a depraved man, but I just can't help but love those cold beauties. Same goes for Amagami SS, Iketeru Futari, Suzuka, Nogizaka Haruka no Himitsu, Kaichou wa Maid-sama, Special A, Full Metal Panic, Toradora. I love it when a girl is composed and rational, which is probably why my love life is a disaster.
A strong king and a strong queen. Truly, you've earned my respect. My love, though, I cannot say.
Number 9. Sket Dance. This anime is known as Gintama for a reason. When it's fun, it's hyper rhythm levels of fun, and when it's sad, its Switch's backstory destroyed me out of nowhere levels of traumatic experience. It's always a joy to watch creative effort of someone who understands the importance of contrast in dramatic structure. Number 10. Detroit Metal City, DMC. Just like Spy Family, sometimes you just come up with an idea and
This thing writes itself.
Number 11. Redline. My god. It should be a crime that nobody knows about this anime. Even Mario Kart is not as intense as this anime. Enough said. Number 12. Sword Art Online, first 15 episodes. What? Back when I saw it, it felt fresh enough until the milking phase began. Number 13. Monster. Monster is the kind of anime that is just sitting there in the corner of your library, never meant to be seen. Just like Gathery Fake, Master Keaton kind of animations, until you actually see it and discover that anime can be more than just panzer shots and mid-breast bullet time. Number 14. Cromartie High School. This delinquent school has Freddy, Gorilla, and Mikazawa. What are you doing watching my video after hearing all that? The further we go, the less words I use to explain myself, as you might have noticed. At this rate, by the end of it will be just emojis and exclamation marks, I suppose. Number 15. Mushishi. Number 16. Soul Eater. Number 17. One Punch Man. Number 18. Oh man, I don't even know where to begin with this one. For a dead joke aficionado like myself, I doubt there's a better gift out there. You need to be quite confident in your Japanese before watching it though to enjoy it properly. Number 19. Versailles no Kyuden. Versailles no Kyuden. Versailles Kyuden. Oh, for fuck's sake. A lovely old school dramatical portrayal of historical events. Barawa barawa. Number 20. Maid Guy. The creator of Maid Guy asked a simple question in our turbulent times. What do you call a male maid? And blessed be mankind with Maid Guy, because not only can he rival Might Guy in charisma and power, but also solve your everyday high school student troubles like losing weight or dealing with thirsty men. He also happens to be the inventor of Brain Printer Interface, a technology that could have spread throughout the world and saved poor office workers were it not for Maid Edison. Number 21. Great Teacher Onizuka. Life is not about your grades. There's so much more to it, like becoming a Kenka Bancho or being blackmailed by your students for sexual harassment. Number 22. 男子高校生の日常. Life is not about your grades, my dear friend. There's so much more to it, you know. So just go and enjoy some time with your bros. Number 23. Bimbo Gamiga. In Japanese, there's a popular metaphor that is used to explain the glyph depicting a human. It is two people supporting each other. This story's protagonist has a different idea. Follow her illustrious highness as she battles the goddess of bad luck, the great equalizer herself, to continue living a life of abundance. Number 24. Shima Kousaku Yurani. This is some drugged, hard to find anywhere title that got me precisely because you'd never expect something like that to ever bless humankind with its existence. Japanese salaryman solves problems of penguins, companies, and foreigners in the best Japanese salaryman way possible. Number 25. Ousama Ranking. I have a soft spot for fairy tale storytelling. I mean, look at Odin Sphere. I played that game because of the story, and it's very easy to ruin this kind of magic. Ousama Ranking is still going strong. Let's just hope it stays this way. Number 26. Sayonara Zutsubo Sensei. Very few stories manage to bring up social psychological issues in such a lively manner. Simple and not so simple crumbs of puns are scattered across all of Thread Cystic Desire and his journey to despair. Whether it's sound or visuals, this anime is screaming with identity. Please try to listen to it. Number 27. Seto no Hanayome. Simple, heartwarming comedy show, and in this case, it's more than enough. Number 28. Slayers. Slayers is the Mass Effect of RPG anime, while Record of Lotus War is Final Fantasy 15. In other words, an apple that is bursting with flavor when you bite it and that causes the forbidden go. On the subject of horses in anime, why most horses in anime look like they're about to murder you in a second? I even have a selection of my own 4 horses of the apocalypse at this point. The only saving grace is that there are great specimen out there too. Anyway, let's get back on track, shall we? Number 29. Ultimate Teacher. It's a giant cockroach teacher who infiltrated the school anime that has pantsu shots in it. What else do you need to hear? Number 30. Bartender. The idea that every mood, every situation, every person has its own cocktail and it's bartender's job to find one sounds ridiculous at first, but people from Palm Studio have managed to make me believe it. They created this cozy, soothing atmosphere by combining smooth, piano-based original soundtrack and this heart-meltingly warm voice acting.
さあ、よろしければ今夜も神のグラスを。
It's an anime that made me, a person who never drank a single drop of alcohol, at least try out Cinderella. But most bars I've been to are worlds apart from the one portrayed here, sadly, so you might as well add fantasy genre tag to it. Number 31. Kami no Mizo Shiru Sekai. The idea of applying date sim methodology to real-life girls is refreshing to say the least and basically freaking funny. I loved it. Number 32. Zankyo no Terror. Whenever you see Kan no Yoko or Watanabe Shinichiro participate in the creation of anything, trust me, just watch it. The hardest thing for any creator is to keep evolving and growing, and so few people actually manage to do it. It is nothing like Cowboy Bebop, nothing like Karen Tuesday. It's an original story packed with intricate details that sends a message. It's the kind of anime you can easily show to someone who was never into the medium and have a nice evening together. Number 33. Himitsu the Revelation. Imagine we could use our brains as a USB drive post-mortem. The cool twist is, we get to see the world the way owner of the brain saw it. Now add to this detective mystery and you get yourself some amazing setup for all sorts of stories. Is bias transferable? Can you get literally brainwashed? What kind of utopia, dystopia can this technology develop into? And Nakagawa Kotaro does it justice by dishing out sweet melodic refrain and tension-building soundtrack. Number 34. Now, before I die, I'll definitely need an extra dose of manly anime, and there are 4 titles that I'll consider watching. I cannot be sure which one I'm gonna pick though. Sengoku Basara, Hokuto no Ken, Otokojuku, or JoJo. But watching all of them at once will probably make my chest hair grow too thick. Number 35. Shinsekai Yori. This one is very hard to digest, especially the first episodes. Eventually it all makes a lot more sense, and all in all it's quite an intriguing story. Probably one of the most surprising social dramas I've ever experienced. Number 36. Ghost in the Shell. Surely I just put this on the list to look edgy. Number 37. Darker Than Black. Only because of this one episode. My fucking god, how beautiful it is. I think if necromancy can reanimate your body, then this one episode can reanimate your soul. Number 38. Usagi Drop. Or Barakamon? No, Spy and Family. Okay, Usagi Drop. Despite the fact that Nichijou, or everyday life genre, is brimming with titles to pick from, from, very few have ever managed to interest me enough to not drop it midway. Usagi Drop is this fuzzy, soft story about simple things in life and their beauty, and it's more than enough in this case. Number 39, Souten Kouro. I love the Three Kingdoms, and unlike Kuroko no Basuke style Seven Kingdoms stories that are quite popular these days, this animification was tense enough for me to like it, even though it is a far cry from how most things are described in the version I read. Its over-the-topness turned out to be quite memorable, but not as memorable as the story of the lady who got killed to feed Liubei's Sanbaka Kyodai. Number 40, Thermae Romae. Roman bath architect time travels into modern-day Japan to experience the inferiority of his ways. Basically every gaijin experience here ever. Number 41, Fate Zero. The first Fate anime I saw was Fate Stay Night, whatever this title is supposed to mean, and it was horrible. Even a teenager like me understood that this was very, very bad. I personally think that Fate franchise is an overhyped, bloated mess, and there's very little to enjoy there, aside from eye candy. I mean doujins. But Fate Zero and Carnival Phantasm are different. Yes, it has its highs and lows, but the highs are so high it beats most of the stuff the medium has to offer. Number 42, Psychopaths. Psychopaths raises a lot of interesting topics and portrays that the biggest villain may be born from isolation. Next, number 43, Link Click. Nicely delivered drama and a glimmer of hope for Chinese animation. Number 44, Akka-Jusan. Visually stunning, tense political show that does not chase after any forced twists and turns. And probably precisely for this reason, it stood out for me more than Joker Game that I initially thought about including here. Number 45, Kill la Kill. When it comes to pacing, this is one of those animations that finishes its dinner by the time you barely got out of bed. Number 46, Hajime no Ippo Rising. I hate boxing. I love this anime. Number 47, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Before people start throwing tomatoes at me for including a Western-made animation into this heavily Japanese animation-infused list, I'll say my part. The more I think about these things, the more I realize just how polished, refined, and deep the message of this cartoon was. It's a story where characters grow more than most people manage throughout their lives, both ethically and aesthetically. Anko Aero and Zuko's duo just hit so hard on so many levels. The world might have been a completely different place if we all had someone who can make nice tea by our side. Number 48. Yomungan. Guns shoot, Coco sexy. Number 49, Seitokai Yakuin Domo. Number 50, Full Metal Alchemist. Mark my words, this anime is just as philosophical as Ghost in the Shell. I have spent quite some time thinking about Brotherhood's final message, and I think accepting things is the hardest thing we all go through our lives. Being able to admit your own insignificance in the grand scheme of things is where the real test of our ego lies. Number 51, Arcane. Nothing illustrates how stories we make reflect the spirit of our age better than Arcane. I'm no storytelling expert, but I observed that the amount of stories that use more than just black and white to create worlds has been increasing lately. This is just my gut feeling, not backed up by any kind of data, but try looking at the narratives 50 years before and you'll notice how many stories are very shallow and bichromatic compared to what we can find these days. We had a clearly defined baddie figure and a clearly defined goodie figure. I think the reason why we get stories like that these days is because of ever-increasing internet-fueled multiculturalism and the weakening of nationalistic narratives and propaganda. But probably the biggest factor here, to be honest, is that they had 5 years to refine this story.
Great things take time.
You might think that there's no way a single man can watch all these in a month.
You underestimate underestimate my power!
I wish I could include One Piece on the list, but I'm afraid it's either these 50 animations or Oda Eiichiro's magnum opus. However, I feel like I have to bring up the latest arc of One Piece, that is Wano Kuni, basically the Great People of Yamato arc, also known as Japan. Thing is, when you become as big as Oda, it becomes very hard to raise societal issues about your own country, and it's mind-blowing how elegantly he's managed to embed Japanese culture in so many iterations. But the three things have made me feel like he's actually trying to send a message here. The demon fruit that, as a side effect, forces you to smile even when you feel like cutting your own heart out. Occupation by an obscenely powerful foreign force. And the need to discard these antiquities to move forward. But I'm probably just forcing this connection here. Honorable mention: Death Parade skating scene, Samurai Champloo episode 21, Space Dandy episode 20, 12 Kokuki Bokura no Naruto Shippuden episode 375, Captain Tyler, The Final Showdown. And so the ultimate question left to ask is, do I recommend these animations? No, I don't. I leave you in the capable hands of elder brother Liam. Bring out the jam! For those of you who survived till the end of this video, here's a bonus copyright infringement segment.